Hey everyone, welcome back to Gearfacts. Today I'm looking at another classic, another small classic. Ooh, the Casio SK-5 sampling keyboard. This one's a bit of a collector's item because they are quite rare. Certainly rare to see one in condition like this, complete with original box. That's highly unusual. And I guess the reason why this is a sought after keyboard is because it can do a little bit of everything. It's got a little bit of rhythm, a few voices there, and sampling. Okay, so how do we actually record a sample? Well, we've got long sampling and short sampling and 4 pads that we can assign to, which of course corresponds to those 4 right there. So you start by pressing sample 1 or whichever sample you're going to assign to, then choose long or short, and then say something to the microphone. Testing. Now the little snare drum sound tells you it's finished recording.
Testing, 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 testing.
I'll give that full volume.
Testing, 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 testing.
Okay, let's try another one. Sample 2. Sampling. Gearfacts.
Gearfacts. Gearfacts. Gearfacts. Gearfacts.
So obviously that's a very low resolution sample. I think it's about 11 kilohertz, but that certainly has its own style and feel that can still be used in modern recordings.
Gearfacts. Gearfacts.
We can bring some effects into that too by holding down the effect button and choosing one of the waveforms here, or a word. Little processing sound there. So that's Gearfacts backwards. Let's restore that to the way it was. Bit of processing time. And we can loop it. And we can do some waveform tricks as well. So you can hear a bit of a fade out there. Not sure what this one does. That fades in. Let's try a longer sample, number 3. There we go. Pretty quiet sample there, but I guess it demonstrates how long the sample time is. Let's loop that one and reverse it as well. Processing. Long sample, so a lot of processing time. Okay. So by now you're probably getting a bit of an idea of the strange sort of retro sampling vibe this keyboard's giving us. And of course now those samples are saved to our pads. Gearfacts with its fade in there. And the whistle sound. Then we've got our 8 more basic sounds. There you go, and you've literally just heard the entire set. Then we've got our rhythm set, which is always a treat with these old keyboards. Tempo control here. There's also a memory function here which will give you a metronome as well that you can play along to, and then you stop it and you can play back whatever you've played on the keyboard. And I should point out you've just got to switch from record to play if you want to hear that again. And as always I like to give you a bit of a look at what's on the back of the keyboard, but this time we're going to start from the side, which is our microphone and line in sockets there. So you can put your MP3 player in and record a beat and then loop that one, or you can just use a microphone to give yourself a slightly clearer signal. Around the back here we've got virtually nothing except an output, which is basically a headphone socket and 7.5 volts power in. The speaker is just a single 3-inch unit. It's got a nice, tidy, about 25 keys keyboard that feels alright to the touch, typical of the smaller size keyboards that we still see on modern units today. I did forget to mention that we've got spot effects here called rhythm pad. These can't be changed, they're just basic sound effects that you can drop in anywhere. And I think that pretty much covers it. I think we've shown why the SK-5 is a bit of a sought-after classic though. I'm sure in the early 90s or maybe even late 80s when it was released, it was seen very much as a novelty just for a bit of crazy fun. But there are some musicians who are actually using them quite seriously now for that 8-bit 11 kHz sampling sound. Anyway, I'll let you be the judge of it. I think it was a whole lot of fun to use. There aren't many competing keyboards that do everything that the SK-5 does, but I will put up a link to a few other things, including Yamaha's excellent VSS30, which is a really good keyboard of very similar size and capability, so definitely click on that link, guys. Please leave those comments, and don't forget to like the video or subscribe to Gearfacts, and I look forward to seeing you next time. That's the Casio SK-5.